So, what is your identity? Who do you identify with? Who do you think you are? And how does your identity affect your life today? This is what I'm going to talk about in this video. Hello, my beautiful people. Thanks so much for stopping by my channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Grady and I'm the counselor and transformational coach at Butterfly Project. So this is going to be a follow-up for a video that I did previously on identity. And if you haven't watched that video, I'll post a link for it up here. And you're probably going to want to watch that as well. But in that video, I talked about your identity, who it is that you believe that you are, where that came from. And in this video, we're going to talk about how that affects your life today, how your identity affects you. So your identity, as I talked about in that video, is coming from your childhood programming. That is coming from the first 6 to 10 years of your life. And it was developed based on your conditioning. Okay, so you were conditioned in those first years to create and believe in an identity, okay, of who you are based on the people that were around you, the experiences that you had, right? So this could be parents, grandparents, siblings, aunts, uncles, teachers, right? It could be the community. It could be, your culture, religion, all of these things, right? Your school. So that is where you were conditioned to believe about you, who you are. But that is actually not who you really are. That's not the true identity of you. That is just what you got conditioned with. So you created an identity based on other people's identity and their negativity or limiting beliefs, right? Their past, pains and things that they've experienced. So that's how you got conditioned. It just got projected onto you. So how does that affect you today? Well, if that's not your true identity, right? And when I say identity, it's who you think that you are. So you might think that you're, somebody who is not good enough, somebody who's not worthy, somebody who is not deserving, right? Somebody who is not smart, or maybe you're not beautiful or handsome, right? So it's somebody that's not capable, somebody that can't, maybe have money, or maybe you can't have relationships, right? Maybe you didn't see good relationships, growing up. Maybe you grew up poor, right? And so, maybe nobody went to school to get a higher education or to start a business, to have, a really good career. Whatever it is, it's going to be different for everybody, right? Maybe you saw people that were really sick around you, or maybe you had something and you got labeled with something. And then for the rest of your life, now you think that this is who you are. But it's actually not who you are. It's what you were conditioned to be. So how that affects you today is that if you're thinking these things, so let's say, for instance, I'm not good enough. If you think that you're not good enough, you're not going to go after your dreams. You're not going to take those risks. You're not going to, start that business maybe, or go to school for, that career, or apply for that job, or ask that person out, or, commit to that relationship. Whatever it is, everybody, has a different situation. But if you don't feel good enough, you're not going to do those things. If you feel like you're not smart, you're not going to further your education. If you think that, if your identity says that you are poor, that you're not wealthy, well, then you're not going to do anything to gain any kind of wealth, material wealth, right? So whatever your identity is, based on your conditioning from your early years that programmed you for the rest of your life, right? If you've taken on that identity, but now, there's that saying, if you know better, you do better. So now that you know, actually, that's not my identity, right? I grew up poor because my parents or grandparents or caregivers, whoever it was, they were poor and that was their identity. And so they passed that on to me, but that's actually not who I am, right? Now, the thing is that our subconscious mind is where our identity has been created and formed. So everything that you took in those first years got programmed into your subconscious mind, and now that is playing out. So we actually need to change the identity in the subconscious mind so that it, changes how you do things. It changes, how you view things. It changes the lens that you see through in life, right? And it will change how you're going to behave, how you're going to receive things, how you're going to interpret things, right? So that's how it's affecting you today. So if you have an identity that's based in lack, it's based in pain, it's based in hurt, all of these things, if you have that identity, then it's going to affect how you live today. It's going to affect the, choices that you make. It's going to affect, how you relate to other people, how you relate to other things. So it affects all areas of your life, right? If you have that identity of, I'm sick, or I have this, ailment, I have this, condition, whatever the label, was, then it's going to affect how you move forward. You're going to think, well, I'm not able to do these things because of that, right? But that's your limited identity. That's your identity that has limitations based on the conditioning of your caregivers and your upbringing. But it was their limited identity, their conditioned identity that actually got passed down from their, ancestors as well. And this is how, generational trauma happens. And this is, how you created your identity, but it's not the true you. You see, because it's what you were conditioned with. So we're all born perfect. We are all born pure. We are all born with love. There's no hatred in a baby, right? It's perfection. A baby is perfection. A baby is pure. So we come into this world, right? And that is our true identity. But then we get conditioned with things, right? So let's say your parents had certain limiting beliefs, right? Or an identity based on lack. And, they had, maybe parents that were very, let's say angry, didn't know how to communicate, didn't know how to show love, right? And so your parents ended up, or your caregivers ended up, not having that love, having people around them that were angry, people that hurt them, right? So then they have this identity of like, something's wrong with me, I'm not good enough, right? Relationships are bad, we don't have, enough money, I'm always sick, right? Whatever it is, I lose the people that I love. Whatever the identity was that they had, they then behave based on that identity and pass that down to you. And then you take on that identity, but it's actually not who you are, right? So let's say the identity of we're always poor. No, you just need to change the identity to say, no, I'm wealthy, or I can have wealth, right? Or I'm good enough to have wealth. I am deserving of wealth. I'm deserving of having more. I'm deserving of having an abundance in my life. I am abundant. I'm deserving to have abundance. So, maybe it's in relationships, right? And your identity is that, love is hard, or relationships are hard, or love hurts, relationships are painful, right? I always lose the people that I love, right? The people that I love end up hurting me, right? That identity, and it creates, or the conditioning of that created the identity of like, I'm not lovable, or I'm not good enough, or people always hurt me, or I always get abandoned or rejected. And that's actually not true. That's just based on your conditioning, right? And I know I'm repeating myself, but I really want you guys to get this. So it's affecting your world today because now you're making decisions and you're behaving and you're actually reacting without even thinking about it because it's subconscious. 95% of your life is run by your subconscious mind, meaning you're not even aware of it. So you're reacting and you're acting and you're doing these things based on your conditioning, based on your identity. And that's how it's affecting you today. So if we change the identity that you have, then guess what? Now you're going to behave differently. You're going to make different decisions. If you change your identity from I'm not good enough to yes, I'm good enough, I'm more than enough, I'm more than good enough. If you change it to I am worthy and I am deserving, right? And I am loved and I'm lovable. I'm cherished. Relationships are easy. Love is beautiful. If that is your new identity, then guess what? You're going to behave in those ways, right? You're not going to sabotage relationships. You're not going to hurt other people. You're not going to push people away. You're not going to be guarded, right? Because you're afraid that you might be left or you might get hurt or you might be abandoned. You're going to actually take action to maybe ask that person out or maybe to take the relationship to the next level, whatever it is for you, because now you're behaving differently based on your new identity, right? So, what is your true identity? Think about it this way. Clean slate. Think about a baby. Clean slate. Wipe the slate clean. Whatever negative identity you have. Some identities are good, right? Some parts of your identity are really good. Maybe an identity is, I'm an honest person, right? I'm loyal. I'm faithful. I'm a good person. I help other people. I have compassion. I have empathy, right? Those are good things. Those are good parts of your identity. But, hardworking, all those kinds of things, right? The list goes on. Those parts of your identity are great, but I'm talking about the negative parts, the parts that don't serve you, the parts that aren't your true identity. So let's wipe the slate clean on those. Let's look at what a baby, sorry guys, if you hear squeaking, it's my stool, my chair. So what is your identity? The new identity, right? Your true identity, the real you. As a baby, you're pure, you're perfect, you're beautiful, right? You're handsome, you're cute, whatever it is. You are all of those things. You're so intelligent, right? You're perfect. So whatever that was, right? We want to wipe the slate clean and go back to that beginning and now recreate your identity. Who do you want to be? What is your true identity? And guess what, you guys? You can do this. Like some people are, and the ego comes in and tries to sabotage it for us because it's just trying to protect us, but we don't need that today. You can tell your ego, I got this. I don't need your help. Thank you. Right? And then it is going to come in and say, no, this is who you are. But you have a choice. And yeah, it takes, mental heavy lifting, right? It takes some work. It takes effort to say, no, that's not who I am. This is who I am. And if you look at people, like famous people is the easiest example, but there are some famous people that, came from nothing, or they were turned away and said, no, you can't act, or no, we don't like your singing, right? And they're turned away. And they had an identity, maybe, family saying, no, you can't be that. Oh, that's wishful thinking. Oh, you can't have that. And yet they did anyway, right? They did not identify with their old, untrue identity based on their conditioning. They chose a different identity and they kept with it. So it does take persistence. It takes dedication, diligence. It takes, some hard work, some effort to be able to consistently switch. But I'm telling you guys, it's just a choice. Who told you you have to be this other identity? You have the power to choose a new identity, the true identity of who you are, the real you. You don't have to limit yourself to the past identity that you were conditioned with from other people's limitations. And it's no fault of theirs either, because they didn't know any better. They were just, that's what they were conditioned with, right? So that's who they believed that they were, and they just passed that down to you. So, but you have a choice. Now that you know better, you can do better. So you have a choice to be able to say, no, this is not what I want for my life. This is what I want. So this is now who I am. This is my true identity. All right? So your identity with limiting beliefs is holding you back. Okay? And You don't need to keep that identity. You can choose a different identity, and that can change your future. That can change your situation, your finances, your career, your relationships. That's how it affects you today, is because you're actually allowing it. So all you have to do is make a choice, choose a different identity. All right? So that's the message I had for you today. I hope that this was helpful. Don't forget to do all the things. Like this video, comment down below, share my video and channel with others. I would truly appreciate it. And if you're new here, welcome. I would love for you to subscribe to my channel and be part of this ever-growing butterfly community. And also don't forget to hit the bell icon so you get notified of new videos. And to my subscribers, thank you so much. I really, truly appreciate each and every one of you. Doing any number of these things is the best way to support me, to help my channel to grow, to get my messages out there. And also, if you would like to work with me, my information is always in the description box below. And yeah, hope that this was helpful for you today. And as always, I wish you all peace, love, and light. Until next time, bye-bye.